I pretty much shut off my physical language for the last 15 years. I think mostly, I came to some realizations while I was writing this record. And among those realizations, which were, largely triggered by the political climate that we currently are living in our culture, Western culture at least, was that there had been several experiences that I encountered, which were quite traumatic, that occurred right around the same time that I left Belgium to move to New York. So in between the ages of like 16 and 18, basically, I had my share of sexual abuse as well. And I hadn't really realized until now that my subconsciousness had just, that my physical language, given the fact that I'm a very, I also experience a lot of sexual energy in my creative process, and so I tend to really, I've always had a pretty kind of distinct sensuality within me, but that my subconsciousness had kind of just blocked that from my musical language because it felt like a threat. And so I used these videos as, I wanted to create an opportunity through my work to discover my physical language, again, in tune with the music, in a way that I could learn how to feel safe again in expressing myself. So I'm very excited, and I'm thankful to the Me Too movement to have, I think awakened, or, a lot of trauma for a lot of humans, but mostly inviting these conversations to be held. And I'm also just very thankful that I have this vehicle of expression to both, communicate with my own dialogues and heal my own, heal my old wounds and put them away, but also to be able to share that, with whoever's willing to share in the experience. So, yeah. It was really funny when I gave birth. This is a very personal thing, obviously, but when I gave birth to my daughter, there was a very, my godmother was in the room, and it was a wonderful, wonderful process, actually, and I couldn't help but notice that the whole birthing was literally a dance. I was just tapping into this most primal instinct of my body, and I couldn't help myself, but I was literally like dancing as I gave birth. Very abstract probably, but, like squatting and but then shortly after, I got contacted by this choreographer named Wim van de Kabus, and his company is called Ultima Vez. And originally it was to write the music for his for a new production and perform in the film of it. And as I was there, it was the first time that I was in a space with professional, like very highly, skilled, but also tremendously talented pro dancers, basically. And being able to play music while watching them and being in this space, I just felt such a reconnection to my own essence again, that I always felt, to me, like dance is so musical, and I think also my first instrument that I really learned to express myself on were the drums. And there's so much rhythm, to me, dancers are some of the best drummers in many ways, you know, because of how so many of the so much of the movement that happens between beats, that's where the rhythm really is interesting, you know? And so when I look at dancers, I hear so much music and vice versa. I've also noticed a lot with myself when I really can get to a place of kind of transcendence with music that my body just can't help, but like I need to flow through it on a physical aspect as well. And it felt like the last 10 years, it felt very unfortunate that I didn't feel safe enough to allow my body to flow with the same musical language as you know, just what I was, as how my head was kind of experiencing the music. But this deep instinct has always been there, and it's just recently that I've realized like I can no longer separate these two. This is the core of my expression, is rhythm and movement, really. And when you think of melody in music, it's all movement, you know. It's this dialogue between rhythm and movement. So yeah.